Now we have more than 4,000 residential customers in Lawrence, Kansas. We pick it up every week in 65-gallon containers. We started collecting recycling in 1989, and currently we're up to about 10,000 tons a month that we run through our materials recovery facility. And while people think of recycling as what you do every week when you take your container out to the curb, that really only makes up about 20% of the volume that we process at the MRF. A full 70% or so goes from the commercial sector, comes from the commercial sector. What happens is the trucks come in and the residential material is commingled, so it has to be separated. So that goes through the first sort at our bolograph machine, and we installed that in 2004. And that allowed us to take glass out but add all sorts of new materials, paper products generally. And from there, the paper and the containers are separated by the bolograph, and the containers are taken for yet another sort by material, plastic, aluminum, steel, and the paper separated by newsprint, mixed office paper. And they're all baled by material and then loaded in either trucks or boxcars and taken off. Lately, the majority by far has gone to China from the Port of Long Beach. It's just not an infrastructure really anymore for domestic mills that can handle all of this. So the markets really are in China and in Mexico, and that's everybody in this industry knows that, and that's where the stuff goes. And maybe that'll turn around someday. It wasn't always that way, maybe it won't stay that way, but I mean, the glass stays local with our partners at Ripple. We collect locally generated glass for a local company, and then they process it and take it to another local company where they manufacture fiberglass out of it. That's a good closing the loop story, but for most household materials it just doesn't work that way. Landfills are very expensive. It costs about $1 million an acre to develop a landfill cell. When you think about the land acquisition, the engineering, the development, the liners, everything. So it's a pricey proposition, and so airspace is really precious. And siting a new landfill is damn near impossible. So it's a piece of municipal infrastructure that's very important, like a sewage treatment plant or in an airport. So if you can keep that open, the longer you keep that open, that helps keep your rates in check, so you don't have to, truck it for hundreds of miles to get rid of your waste. So the way you extend the life of a landfill and preserve airspace is to divert materials that don't need to go into a landfill. So aluminum doesn't need to go into a landfill, and paper doesn't need to be buried. Paper needs to be reused and turned into something else. It needs to be seen as a resource. So it saves money in the long term, and it provides employment for people downstream too. So I mean, diverting waste is just the right thing to do on many levels. From what last I heard, our per household volumes in Lawrence are amongst the strongest of any community, so that shows that there's certainly commitment to recycling in Lawrence at the residential level, and we're happy to be a part of that, and we hope that it continues and expands and that we can help do what we can on that.